Start recording. So, welcome everybody to the Working with the Goddess, and we are going to be focusing on the goddess Oshun, and I will be giving it from my perspective this evening, just sharing what I can to help you all better connect with Oshun within your own self and without. My name is Tyra Omilade. I am a priestess and spiritual guide, and you can say I house myself at goddessbodymindspirit.com, which is a virtual space that I've had since 2006. So glad that you are here this evening. What we're going to do is we are going to just get ourselves centered just a little bit, just with taking some deep breaths. If you would, just take a deep breath in and just breathe out, opening yourself to receive the wisdom, releasing go of your day. Let's take another deep breath in. Inhale, feeling yourself surrounded by nice, juicy, gentle, lush orange lights. Exhale. And one more time, take a deep breath in. Breathe in. Giving thanks that the only thing that will happen this evening is for our highest and greatest good. We open ourselves to the energies of the north, the south, the east, and the west, our guides who provide the wisdom that we need along the way, every step of the way. And we give thanks that the only thing that will happen in this sacred virtual space will be for our highest and our greatest good. May the energy of Ogun, Herakahuti, the warrior, surround us, keep us protected as we work within this beautiful, sacred, virtual space. And we call in the energies of our ancestors of light, and we call in the energy of the Great Mother Goddess, especially in the form of Oshun. Oshun, may you show us that you are us and we are you. And so we say, Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. Okay, let's just jump right on in to this webinar. So our game plan for the evening is I will give an introduction just in case you're not that familiar with me. I will give you an introduction so that I can make sure we get to know each other. We'll also talk about who is the goddess. Like, who is this goddess that everyone is talking about? Of course, we already know the goddess is you, the goddess is me, and there is the great goddess. But we'll talk a little bit more about the goddess, and then we'll go a little more in depth about Oshun, who is our guest of honor this evening, our goddess of the night. Oshun, central, beautiful, gorgeous, brilliant Oshun. And we will also talk about the Goddess Masterclass. Oh my goodness, who knew there was a Goddess Masterclass? Okay, so who am I? My name is Tyra Omilade. I am a priestess and a spiritual guide. It is my joy and my honor to be in service to humanity through my gifts that have been bestowed upon me, that I have received to come and manifest in the world. So what I'd like to let people know is that I am a priestess of the sacred feminine mysteries, and I have been a priestess since 2006. Now, the sacred feminine mysteries is a goddess-based spiritual path, is what I'll call it. It's not really a religion, but it is a path that is goddess-based, and we accept and receive that all power resides in our womb. And so we work to step fully into working with the divine feminine as divine feminine beings. And I just give thanks that I have had the honor and privilege to hear the call and be called into the sacred feminine mysteries. As a priestess, I am a priestess of Yemanjah. I've been a priestess of Yemanjah Since 2014, I give thanks to be called into the mysteries of Yemaja, to apply her wisdom to my life, as well as to receive wisdom from her to share with other people. So I would say my greatest gift and skill set as a priestess is as a diviner. I've been doing divination since 2000, probably 2002. And I have a specialty in several oracles, the Metuneta, which is based on ancient Egyptian or Kemetic spirituality, the Meridine Lagoon, which is from the Orisha tradition, with me being initiated as a priestess of Yemanjá, the Mayan oracle, the Pathways oracle. These are oracles that I have picked up along the way, and they just have proven to help so much, help me to help others quite a bit, and help me in my own life. And here recently, I've also become an avid student and practitioner of astrology and numerology. So all things divination, that is me. I love divination. So that's a little bit about my initiations regarding the work that I do. I do readings, and I have a web-based membership site. I share wisdom within that membership site. Typically, this wisdom will have to do with having a roadmap so people can navigate each week, each month. I even did, and some of you all who are on the call or the webinar this evening were a part of the 2020 workshop that I did. So that was my way of helping people to be able to create a roadmap to navigate 2020. So it's all about, for me, navigation. And also I share spiritual courses, just channel spiritual wisdom, whatever comes to me, because sometimes it's not necessarily about the oracle. It's something that the mothers, my guides, have given to me to share with others, just to help people on their path to self-realization, self-mastery, Iwapele, which is good character. Within Ifa, Iwapele is tantamount to our walk. So having good character and towards our destinies. So I typically, the way I describe what I do is I help spiritual people interpret the oracles so that they have a roadmap to help them stay on the straight and narrow towards their destinies, towards happiness, and a balanced life. I think that most people who are in balance, you cannot stop them from fulfilling their destiny. You cannot stop them from actually experiencing happiness. So that is something that is very important. And I found that most people are simply looking for their purpose in life. So that's one of my main goals, is to help people feel confident in knowing who they are and moving on the straight and narrow in that direction. So that's a little bit about me and why I do what I do. So as a priestess of the sacred feminine mysteries, I have to start off by talking about who is the goddess. And so we call the goddess the divine feminine. A lot of us have been greatly exposed to the divine masculine. I pay homage and honor to the divine masculine. I don't have no problem with God. I don't have no problem with the divine masculine. Hello, people out there. If you have anything to do with Ifa, who has connected with your masculine Orisha? My masculine Orisha is Shango. I pay homage and honor to the divine masculine. However, we all know there's not many people out there who were raised up understanding that there is a divine feminine principle in the world. And so one of the reasons so many of us are being called to connect with the goddess, and this is men and women, is because we realize the imbalance in our connection to the divine masculine versus the divine feminine. And we are seeking to bring this more in balance, because both energies are essential to having a balanced life, to being able to manifest your destiny, manifest whatever it is you want to manifest in the world, and just to have a full experience here in this human form. And so the divine feminine, this is who the goddess is. We consider the divine feminine to be universal energy. There's no one group that has the lock on this energy. And also her energy is yin. So when we think about the divine masculine, this is yang energy. This is hot. This is fiery energy. This is the energy of expansion. Whereas the yin energy is cool and dark, and it's contractive. And so we do have a society that highly values the yang form of the energy, and not so much the yin. You know, people who have a lot of yin, who typically sort of swing to being soft, gentle, easygoing, they're looked at as weak, you know. But if you have too much yang, I can assure you imbalance will ensue. So we can look at her energy as universal, it's yin. And we also talk about the three faces of the goddess. And in this Working with the Goddess series, my goal is to share with you the three faces of the goddess: the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Tonight, the emphasis is the maiden. And so, though I've called this Oshun, we understand that the energy of Oshun is understood through the Ifa tradition, the Orisha tradition out of West Africa, Nigeria. However, you know, she is in multiple cultures, called by different names. And this would be the maiden. When we think about the maiden, this is the youngest energy of the goddess. And then there's the mother. Within the Ifa tradition, we would think of Yemanja. Within Kemet or Egypt, we would think of Aset. And then there is the crone. Who knows about the crone out there? Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. This is the phase of life that we get to where we are no longer raising children. We are moving into that elder phase. It's a very wise time of our lives. So the crone is, and it's also, you know, bringing things to a close. So these are the three faces of the goddess, especially within the sacred feminine mysteries that we work with. And of course, if you have questions, feel free to type them into the chat and I will stop and answer your questions. And so working with the goddess, as I said, balance is needed. Balance is absolutely needed. Even some of us who are born in feminine form, who are extremely feminine, we are, to a certain degree, extremely masculine in our approach, because this is how the world sort of requires us to make it. This is how the world, to a large extent, has sort of put us in a position where we're like, the only way we can survive is to be yang. So this is why, again, we want to work with the goddess. And something that I want to make sure I share with you all, as I have learned from my teacher, Iya Oshunike, womb work is needed. So many of us have had trauma. For those of us in feminine form, we have had trauma to our wombs. And a woman whose womb is not healthy is a woman who perhaps is not able to manifest to our full potential. And so we want to do womb work to connect with the power. When we think about the power of our womb, the ability to conceive a baby, to give birth to this baby, it's incredible. And this same power we can use and channel in our lives to make manifest that which we want. And to a large extent, our disconnection from our wombs and the trauma that's there has us acting from a place where we are acting smaller than, you know, what the truth is of who and what we are. So we definitely need to do womb work. And I know I hear people who talk about doing womb work, and that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So um, people who work with me in the inner circle, a lot of times, especially if they're getting the readings, they will hear me talk about the chant that my godmother channeled that helps to heal the womb. And maybe we'll talk about that in a future webinar. So, working with the goddess Oshun. Who's heard of Oshun? Has anybody worked with Oshun? Type into the chat. Or do we have any people who know for sure because they've gotten their readings that you are governed by Oshun? I'm just going to take a moment to see if anybody types anything in. Now I'm going to give you some pro tips. As you can see, my background is Sacred Feminine Mysteries and Orisha tradition, as well as I'm just a truth seeker. So I am non-traditional in the way that I talk about Oshun, which is, you know, it's really okay. But I sort of feel like I'm multilingual when it comes to spirituality. So if you are Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, hey, you are governed by Oshun too, okay? Different ways of understanding. If anybody knows that you work with Het Haru, chime in. Okay, so who is Oshun? Oshun, as I said earlier, is the maiden form of the goddess. And it is really important that we understand that she is known by multiple names in other traditions. You know, I've mentioned Het Haru, who I largely work with, but they are one and the same as I see it. And I don't know if y'all have heard of Urza Lee out of Haiti, baby. Urza Lee and Oshun, that's the same energy right there. All right, Tawana's Oshun. Nice, nice, nice. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to be, governed by Oshun. So yes, she is governed, she is the same energy known in multiple, multiple ways. And the reason I say this is because, again, it is so important for us to understand that Oshun is a universal principle. One of the things that I like telling people about Oshun is if you've ever met somebody who is ruled by Oshun, that is out the box energy. You cannot put Oshuns in boxes. Oshun is shape-shifting energy. So you can't expect Oshun to show up and be anything other than what Oshun is saying that she is going to be that day. Okay. And so the more we understand that she is a universal principle, it's easier for us to connect with Oshun in multiple ways. One of the reasons I'm putting this together is because people say, well, how do I work with the goddess Oshun? And it's because people have Oshun in a box. You know, they only call Oshun Oshun versus understanding, okay, maybe one day I'll work with her in the form of Oshun. Another day I'll work with her in the form of Het Haru. Another day I'll work with her from the perspective of Urza Lee, because they're all going to bring their flavor, their tones as each culture understood, right? This is how Oshun is best understood as a principle. And you may primarily call her Oshun, which is fine because I do. But to know that there are multiple ways of connecting with her energy, it puts you in a place of power. Yes, yes, yes. So we're going to talk about her colors, Q, but I will tell you, since you asked, yellow, orange, and green. So what Ra'un Nefer Amen taught in or teaches in the Metu Neter is yellow and green are her colors when we're thinking about Het Haru. So if you see the Het Haru card, she's yellow and green because those colors attract. But definitely orange and yellow, you hear people talking about that from the Ifa tradition. But if you're working with Urza Lee, then you would wear pink. Oh, wow. Q is in Hawaii. No problem. No problem. No need to apologize, Q. So, everyone, we want to be where Q is right now. I know I do. I need to get down there, Q. Yes. And Azizi is Yemonja, but she loves her Oshun sisters. But I can tell you, Azizi is very Oshun too. Yemonja and Oshun is like a fine line. And that's something else that I really want to emphasize, that we all have Oshun energy. Every Orisha resides within us. That is the beautiful thing. The Orisha reside within us. And so when we need Oshun energy, which I encourage us to work with Oshun on a regular basis, especially if you're born into a divine feminine being. If you're Orisha, whether you are male, female, or non-gender conforming, but you're working with Venus in some kind of way, Oshun in some kind of way, you should be working with this energy on a regular basis. Okay. All righty. Q is up early. Okay. What is most important to know about Oshun? So before I started talking about the details regarding Oshun, I really had to put this in here. It is not enough to know about Oshun. You give her the most honor by living out her wisdom and strengthening her faculty within you. You see, the Orisha exist to help us self-actualize, self-realize, master ourselves, to come into this physical reality and have the fullest experience that we can have, however we decide that looks. And so I am of the position that I don't want to be a part of a tradition and I have nothing to show for it. And so it is my hope that whatever I share with you, that you remember this the most about Oshun, that when you're working with Oshun, you're getting your healing, that you are manifesting, since we know Oshun has to do with manifesting, that you feel valuable, that you feel worthy, that you feel good about yourself, that you are able to imbue your life, your experience, your beingness with the energy of Oshun. Now, I put this little lady right here, one of the signs that's ruled by Venus, which the planet Venus is the same as Oshun, is Taurus. So I see this as Taurus. A lot of times we're relating Oshun to the water, or we say she's a water deity, but within astrology, when we're thinking about Taurus, she's earthy, which includes water too, but she's earthy. So just want us to expand our mind beyond, okay? So Oshun's wisdom. So the reason I call it Oshun's wisdom, and I have these cowrie shells here, is I don't know if people always understand just how wise this energy is. This is some powerfully wise energy. Yeah, Oshun is about the good life. Oshun wants to have a good time. She's very easygoing in the way that she expresses herself. But make no mistake about it, one of the stories that comes down to us to help us priests and priestesses understand, where did the Meridine Lagoon Oracle come from, which is the 16 cowrie divination? It came from Oshun. Oshun is the one who birthed that oracle system so that we're able to do divination and help people here in the physical realm. So know that when Oshun gives you a directive, it is based on something very powerful. She is not, light She's light in the sense that that's how she presents, but her wisdom and her energy is deep, it's powerful, and it brings wisdom that can help you transform your life on a, you know, in a major way. So things that whenever we're working with the energy of Oshun, she will say, you know, you need to be creative, you need to be engaging in the arts. And the reason this is so important is, for some of us, it's our destiny. We have come here to share art. Never ever underestimate the artists out there of the world. But literally, the way we're able to manifest whatever it is that we want in our lives, it comes from a place of creativity. So the more we engage art, the more we let our creative juices flow, the more we stay in this space of creativity. Because Oshun is actually related to people who are inventors, because her faculty, as you can see here, is the imagination. And how are things invented? Like, you know, these earbuds, these earrings, whatever, the phone, it came from someone's imagination. She is about invention because of this imagination faculty. So you take the creativity with the imagination, and this is things are manifest. It's just like what Einstein talked about, you know. If you want to know what's going to come down the pipeline, just look at what you are focused on in your imagination, right? Who would say that's Oshun? I do. That is an Oshun statement, even though it sounds like it's metaphysics, right? So you definitely want to connect with Oshun. If you feel like I'm not connected to Oshun, then you need to do something artsy, even if it's just for the sake of doing art. Go make the clay, go to an art gallery, whatever. Even if you are an engineer, or let's say, you know, website builder, whatever, those seem technical, but it's actually very creative. You're creating something from nothing. You conceive an idea and you bring it into manifestation. Okay. Now, another thing about Oshun is flexibility. This is part of the reason why she's known as being very easygoing. But when Oshun is speaking, let's say you get a reading, or let's say you are an Oshun type, then something that's important to understand is you have to bring the essence of flexibility. It has to be a part of how you operate in the world. Because I was recording the class earlier about Oshun, and it came to me, when you're not flexible, you're stiff as a board, you can't receive anything, you may not move in the direction that you want to move in. It doesn't allow for creativity. And so, you know, being flexible, going with the flow. How many of you out there like going with the flow? Or how many of you out there prefer to stay in control freak mode, right? See, Oshun is like, no, we're not doing all that control freak mode, because Oshun is so confident that everything is working in her favor. So we want to allow that to, you know, come into our consciousness and just imbue our mindset. We want that to be what leads, guides, and directs our lives when we're working with Oshun, okay? So being flexible is, in fact, very Oshun, and it's part of her power, and it's part of how she is able to manifest so easily and effortlessly. She lets things come to her. Yes. Amadia, sorry if I messed up your name. She says, I like the flow. Yeah, this is something that I am learning. Excuse me, y'all. Something that I am learning when it comes to allowing things to come into your life. And so a lot of times when we're hearing about the law of attraction and we're hearing people talk, I like knowing about Oshun because I just merged the two. When the manifestation gurus say you have to allow it, then you already know you're working with Oshun. You already know. Another one could be Yemonja, because she's about receptivity and being relaxed. this is why I said, folks sleep on the yin way of living. But sometimes it's not about, oh, I'm just going to be so gung ho and go out there and get that thing. Sometimes it's about, you know what? I open my hands and I allow it to come to me. Now, it might be I allow it to come through me through taking inspired action, but this inspired action will feel effortless, right? This is Oshun. This is why she's related to the river. She's, like the waves and the water. And we think about the river. Sometimes the river is just barely moving. And sometimes the river, it's moving pretty fast, right? Because it's full or whatever. So it's not like she's just slow all the time, but she definitely is flowing, right? So that's something we want to think about. Something that I do want to bring up is this sensuality, sexuality piece. A lot of us don't feel worthy. Oshun is about self-worth, self-value. And so we may not be open to the finer things in life. And, sometimes trauma, the wrong messages from the world about what it means to be sensual and sexual prevent us from fully experiencing these aspects of ourselves. But this is part of the reason that Oshun is so powerful. This is part of her ability to manifest because, a lot of times sensuality puts you in that place of like ownership, right? So, but also sensuality allows you to really embrace this experience. I like talking about when I speak on Yemanja, people, the power of being vulnerable. A lot of times we say we want that relationship, but we're not wanting to be vulnerable. Well, with Oshun, this sensuality and sexuality piece, and I know Oshun, actually, this energy can lead us to be overindulgent in sensual pleasures and sexuality, right? We definitely are wanting to have a balance, but I think there's a lot of people out there who so badly want affection, but maybe they've received the wrong message about what it means to be sensual and they've just shut it down, right? So no matter what, we don't want to be too far in one direction or the other. I find that working with Oshun, it does require us to get ourselves healed up. If we have experienced sexual trauma, it's just real talk out there, okay? We definitely want to have a healthy, okay, very good question. We definitely want to have a healthy experience, a healthy relationship with our sexuality. And so this is what Oshun calls us to do, to embrace that aspect of ourselves. Sensuality is about the touching, and it's a lushness. It's feeling beautiful and touchy, huggy, feely. And, you think about sensual pleasures where you're eating like the best of the best. Who has this? Hawaii is full of sensuality, I'm sure. It's an island and it's warm and, it has just this lush feel to it where you just really feel everything on a physical level, but it has nothing to do with necessarily sexuality. Sometimes the two are confused. You're sensual, you're dancing and you're having a good time. Sensuality is about having a good time. And you're told, quit acting like that. That's not ladylike, or, you're just being mannish. Stop. And it's like, whoa, I just was enjoying myself, So that's what sensuality is. I hope that answered your question. Very good question. So yes, when we have issues with feeling worthy, definitely connecting with this energy of Oshun, because her requirement, and it doesn't matter if you're ruled by Oshun or not, her requirement is that we step into feeling worthy and valuable. And a lot of times I just sort of see myself merging with the Orisha and allowing an Orisha takeover. It's not necessarily, for those of you know who, being possessed or mounted, if you've heard of that, it's not that. It's me allowing the fullness of this Orisha to like fill in all the gaps that are there. And this is one of the reasons why I said it's something that we need to do day in and day out. So, yes, definitely. If you have self-worth, self-value issues, you need to work with Oshun. And so we're also talking about the law of vibration, understanding that we, on the greater level beyond the body, we are vibrations, and we attune ourselves to whatever experience we're having. It's a vibrational thing, okay? And then the law of attraction, which we talked about earlier with those colors, we want to attract to us that which we desire. Now, attraction and vibration, manifestation, I'll say it that way, does require inspired action. Don't get me wrong. But there is this way when we're working with Oshun, because like I said, she's a shapeshifter, that is about aligning ourselves with the energy of that which we want, right? So definitely working with the law of vibration, the law of attraction, those are two practical applications that you can work with to foster this energy of Oshun within you. Oshun is also about beauty. And so, she is all about, hey, you need to embrace your beauty, no matter, how we're presenting in the world. She is about beauty. And one of the hacks for, let's say, someone who's a Libra, has Libra energy, if Libra is out of balance, Libra should beautify themselves, go put on some nice clothes, really take that time to spruce yourself up. And that makes Libra feel well, because again, Libra's ruled by Venus. So beauty is something else that Oshun is known for. And we all can sometimes take a page from that playbook. I know sometimes moms, we just get in that spot where we don't feel good. And sometimes lack of beautifying ourselves is a reflection of the fact that we don't care about ourselves, right? So this is something, but also beautiful surroundings, having a beautiful way of operating in the world. This would be Oshun. Now, something that is, I would say, a top category for Oshun would be relationships. And so Oshun is really about relationships. She's very relational. She wants to bring harmony. She wants to be in relationship with people, not necessarily love or just love, but definitely love. Like a lot of times when we find our boo thing, we got Oshun in play. Now we can't stay at the Oshun level, but we do start this thing out with Oshun a lot of times, right? But she's about relationships in general. The thing that I want y'all to know is if our Oshun is underdeveloped, it could be that we are coming here to develop that aspect of our Oshun, which means that we may fall into hard times so that we can learn how to be better at relationships. And actually, I learned this through astrology. It's something that I've noticed with some people who are Oshun types. Sometimes they have the worst times with relationships, and you wouldn't think that. But I'm one who believes that your Orisha is not always the one that you have mastered. You might have a natural propensity and inclination for this Orisha, but it might be that is your Orisha because you aren't really mastering, you haven't mastered that Orisha energy yet. You need to master it, bring it into your life in order to self-actualize, in order to rise to a higher level of evolution. And so sometimes when we're working with Oshun, she really wants us to master relationships. Okay. So that's something else to think about when you're working with Oshun. And just this conception piece, she's the conception. Yemaja is the part that really gestates a thing and nurtures it and keeps it alive. But Oshun is about conception, which is why we relate her to the maiden. The maiden is also like springtime, new beginnings, because the conception is, it's that thing taking off. So definitely that Oshun faculty can help you to conceive of some things. Another thing that I like about Oshun is she is about money. So if you think about the self-worth, self-value piece, you can see how maybe people could have problems making money, being good with money, if their Oshun is not strong. If their Oshun, their maiden, however you want to look at this, is not healthy. So Oshun definitely has to do with money, cha-ching. The Oshuns that I know, they like their money flow. Even if they don't have a lot of money, Oshuns are like, I'm not worried about that. I will manifest this money, right? So our Oshun faculty, and if we even think about it astrologically, Taurus is about the cha-ching, Libra is about the cha-ching, okay? And like I've mentioned at the beginning, the divination and the wisdom. So the thing I want to say to you, if you're working with this Oshun energy, if you're working with the energy of whatever, you like to relate to, Heteru, Ezra, all the other names that she is, if she gives you a directive, are you willing to follow it? Because I can tell you right now, if you are giving guidance by Oshun, guess what? You will prosper. She's about the abundance, right? You will prosper. So I encourage you to understand she's not just a party girl. She is deep wisdom. And when we follow her wisdom, we land in a better spot in our lives, and we are prosperous and abundant. And it could be regarding money, but it could be regarding other things too. Okay. So this is not an exhaustive list, if you can believe it. It's not the entire list, but that is just a little bit about what Oshun represents. Maybe we could say these are keywords. So I wanted to give y'all some Oshun hacks too this evening. So someone asked about her colors, orange, yellow, and green. So y'all can see I have on my orange. If you're initiated, you get this yellow Eleke. If you're initiated into E5, you get your yellow Eleke. And so sometimes if I'm feeling like I need to connect with the energy of Oshun, I want to feel more creative, I want to feel more beautiful, then I definitely will put on her colors. Sometimes, yeah, it's not necessarily I'm feeling depressed. Maybe I do teach African dance. And so maybe I want to come up with a new dance. I might put on the orange so that it will help me and, open my mind up to connect with the energy of Oshun. And it will help me to open up that creative piece a little bit more. So it's not all the time something's wrong. It just may be, we just need to connect with Oshun, because the creativity piece is needed right now. One of the, and this may not be carnelian, I just tried to get something that was yellowish or whatever, but carnelian, it promotes happiness. I can't remember everything else, but it definitely brings this lightness, because Oshun is about having fun. She's not trying to be super serious. Now, she can be a little moody. People that have a lot of this energy might be a little moody sometimes, but they don't mean to. We're not holding it against them. But this carnelian is one. Also, what is this called? Carnelian and no, citrine is what I was trying to put on here. I wrote carnelian because carnelian is yellow. Excuse me, citrine is yellow, and then the carnelian is orangish. So, yes. And then, a lot of times people want to know what offerings to give. Now, I do believe in giving the offerings, but I think the greatest sacrifice that you could give an Orisha is to give up a negative habit that you have to change your life. But it is always nice to honor the Orisha, to show them I'm serious. Because my thing is, why are you going to give an offering and just expect them to do the work. That's not how it works. You're giving an offering, making a commitment that you will follow the wisdom of the Orisha, that you will, in fact, take that divine and inspired action that the Orisha is giving to you. Sometimes it's just really about, so for instance, this year I did Bulk for the first time. I never had heard of it, and it came to me through a series of interesting events. And so on that day, I took flowers, which, you know, that's something that you might would give Oshun. And Bulk is the beginning of spring. It's a springtime celebration. And my thing was honoring Oshun, not necessarily asking for anything, but just really honoring Oshun and wanting to raise my awareness of her within the universe, being aware of her out in nature, giving thanks for seeing her as the river, giving thanks for seeing the season of spring that comes year in and year out, giving thanks for all the great relationships that have been bestowed upon me in this lifetime, giving thanks for the modicum of beauty and money and abundance of all things good, divine that I have received. And so I gave an offering of flowers as an appreciation. That is beautiful, right? But if we're going to give it because we need help, we give it saying, Oshun, I'm really serious. I'm going to give you this pumpkin and I'm going to make the changes you tell me to make. This is my commitment to you. And she will come through for you. Let's see here. So working with Oshun via astrology, I've already talked about this a little bit, but this planet right here, I hope this is Venus. I don't even know what Venus really looks like. It's yellow. So I typed it into Canva, Venus planet, and that's what I got. So we're going to act like this is Venus. But so many people ask me how to work with Oshun, and one of the best ways to do this is via astrology, because it's always giving us something to think about. And so again, we want to focus on this energy of Venus. Venus is Oshun in astrology. And one of the things we want to look at is what sign is Venus in. It doesn't matter, like right now, where's Venus? This is what I'm talking about. Where she is in your birth chart, it matters. But if we keep up with where Venus is right now, it kind of gives us an understanding of this. These are the clothes that Oshun is wearing right now. She's wearing, for instance, right now, the clothes of Aries. So what does that Oshun look like? In E5, we talk about their paths or roads to Oshun. And I see that can be translated into astrology by understanding whatever sign she's in, that's the path that we're on right now for that particular Venus or Oshun, okay? Heteru, whatever you want to call it. So if she's in Aries right now, Aries is about action, and Aries is about, to a certain degree, being selfish. Because see, even though people sort of like perceive Oshun to be a bit, self-centered, and I think that's good. I think that's a great lesson for Oshun to teach us. Oshun actually is really, like I said, relational, and will really try to help and be a part of a couple or a group. And Aries energy is about, number one, the self. And so when Venus is wearing the clothes of Aries, it's giving us permission to be focused on ourselves. Aries is about working out. So when Venus is in Aries, we probably need to be looking at how are we working out? Are we working our muscles? We may be a little more aggressive when Venus is in Aries, which for some of us who are not very aggressive, because Oshun is not aggressive, neither is Yemonja. Or Ya might be a little more aggressive, but a lot of this feminine energy is not really aggressive. And so when it's in something like an Aries, it's giving us the opportunity to be aggressive, probably just right on time. When you say, how do you dispose of the offerings? Tell me, what kind of offering is it? So like, when I gave the flowers, I took them and put them in the water. If I decide I'm going to give a pumpkin to Oshun, then maybe I would try to compost it. Like, I have this little wooded area in the back and just put it in the compost. Because I'm one who feels that we all want to be really, if we love the Orisha, like we say we do, then we are very considerate of the earth. And so for me, even though I know a pumpkin is biodegradable, I would try to avoid putting it in the landfill by composting it somewhere. So maybe if I didn't have this little wooded area, I would go take it and find some wooded area, like, a wooded park or something like that, and just try to toss it off somewhere, because it wouldn't hurt the animals. I say you make offerings to Oshun whenever you want to make an offering to Oshun, whenever you feel like you want to make an offering to Oshun. But definitely, her day is Friday. I'm so glad you asked that, because I forgot to put that in the Oshun manual. What are you doing, girl? But Friday is her day. But I say, you may wake up desperate one day and you like, all I can do is make this offering to Oshun, and it's Wednesday. So I say, make it whenever you want to. I totally agree, Vanita. All about harnessing self-love. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Oh, it is tantamount. It is tantamount to the work that Oshun wants to do in our lives. But I want to go back to Amadia, sorry. This is one of the reasons I love working with astrology, because let's say the moon is in Taurus, or the moon is in Libra. Those would be good times to work with Oshun. Or let's say Venus is in Pisces, because Venus is exalted in Pisces. She's better than good in Pisces. Then, as long as and sometimes you might have to, consult somebody if you don't know about aspects in astrology. But as long as she has favorable interaction with the other planets, which is called aspects in astrology, you could definitely make like a ton of offerings to her. Now, I will tell y'all another really good time that's going to come up is next week. If I'm not mistaken, Venus goes into Taurus, which is one of her signs. So I encourage you to really make some offerings during that time to work on your values, your self-worth. This is what Venus is going to be asking us to evaluate and work on during that time, because she wants us to feel good about ourselves. She wants us to harness self-love. And Azizi said, I take honey after tasting it first, pumpkin, oranges, flowers, or whatever she tells me she wants, to the river. Yes. Yep. So, within the Sacred Feminine Mysteries tradition, we accept that the mother speaks to us, that these goddesses speak to us, and they give us the ritual. Sometimes it is about listening to somebody and it's like, wow, that's a good ritual. What Azizi just said, that was good. I'm going to do that too. It resonates with me. But before that, it was Azizi saying, okay, do what? What you say, Oshun? Okay, got you, Oshun. This is what I'm going to do. This is what we embrace. So that's something I really want to impress upon you all. And I hope you cultivate that intuition muscle within you to be able to come up with your own rituals, because you are a goddess. You got the power. That's what my godmother says. I'm not going to get too deep into this, but to understand what house Oshun is in, it will help you to understand a lot about how to work with her energy right now. So that's a discussion for a different day. Okay, so the reason I wanted to bring this up is because, again, y'all, I'm all about roadmaps, okay? I'm all about helping people stay on the straight and narrow. I have found because people are not using oracles, they're not keeping up with their energy, they're working against it instead of with it. Next thing you know, a retrograde happens, or some transit happens, and this person is fully off course, right? It's no need for that, y'all. It's no need for that. So let's talk about this Venus retrograde that's coming up this year. Who knew about the Venus retrograde? Everybody who was in my 2020 course, I'm gonna need for you to raise your hand. I'm gonna need for you to chime in because y'all know we talked about this. Yes, yes, I agree. Always talking to the Arisha. Thank you, Tawana. Yes. Oh, did you want to ask a question, or are you just raising your hand about knowing about Venus retrograde? So yes, thank you, Krista. Thank you, Amber. Davis raised her hand. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you. We're not playing with this Venus retrograde. We're not playing. Now, let me tell y'all, one of the things is Venus retrograde only happens every 2 years. It's not every year like, oh, Mercury, okay? So this year, 2020 alone is very pivotal. It is a year that has a lot to do with endings and beginnings. When I say endings, I'm telling you, I say this with grace and ease, very transformational endings and beginnings. We actually have the opportunity to completely and totally change the direction and course of our lives if we feel we have not been on the right path. And so we need Oshun energy this year. We need Oshun energy to help keep us in balance, to help keep us from feeling so beat up. So, this is one of the reasons I was like, oh, I've got to do this Oshun webinar first, because first and foremost, we are in this season where we are approaching spring proper. I believe we're already in spring because I celebrated in bulk. But definitely once we hit that spring equinox, we are definitely in this energy of spring. So I was like, ooh, we need to talk about Oshun, okay? But we also need to talk about Oshun because this year it might for a lot of us be rough. And so we need to bring this energy of sensuality, healing, our sexuality if we have wounding in that way. But also because we have the opportunity to completely and totally rewrite our lives in a major way where the energy is supporting it. We want to work simultaneously with this energy of Oshun so that it's not just an ending and we're just sitting like, oh my God, what happened? Where am I? That when the ending happens, we're able to bring this energy of Oshun in and create something new from a place of intentionality, okay? So the Venus retrograde is a time for us to reset our Venusian energy. So I encourage you all to mark your calendars, May 12th to June 25th. There probably will be, there's what's called the shadow period. I didn't want to get too technical. I think I put the shadow period in that 2020 course. I'm going to double check, y'all. I think I put the shadow period in there. But this time, May 12th through June 25th, is going to give us an opportunity to reset our Venusian energy. Now, she's retrograding in Gemini. All right. She's retrograding only in the sign of Gemini, which has to do with learning and communication and our minds. And so, we're going to be given an opportunity maybe to change the way we speak, to step more powerfully into writing or communicating in some kind of way. We're headed even more into the technical age as of December. So this might be something like a precursor where we're getting ourselves tuned up to be able to communicate like we are now over the internet, via writing, whatever, social media. But it also has to do with learning. We may, especially if you are in a feminine body, you may begin to feel like, I am getting to know myself in a different way. I want to learn more about what does it mean to be a woman. I know what I've learned heretofore, but is this everything? So and that's because Gemini is about learning new skills. It will definitely be a time where we evaluate our money, our relationships, our lives in balance, our beauty, and our ability to create on the most, I guess you could say, the community level, the collective level. We all will be looking at those issues because that's what Venus represents. And instead of moving forward, she is going to be moving back, 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 having us think, okay, what do I need to do to get this together? So I encourage you to work with that energy. And the way you work with that energy is it's coming, because if you're on this call or you're watching the replay, I have told you. But you want to make sure that you plan that time, or let's say everything seems to be okay with money. Venus goes retrograde and all of a sudden you're obsessed with some money issues. Don't panic. It's coming up for you to perhaps fix something in your consciousness that would not have been fixed had Venus not gone retrograde, or, it's for the highest and greatest good. Let me say it that way. Okay. I think I saw a question. Let me just double check. Or a comment. Very good. Oh, I love this. Okay, Q says this is all confirmation. I had an orange candle on my altar last night and was told I needed to work with my ancestors. Yes, nice. Azizi, very good. I see your hand is raised. Yes, we are in the know. We are in the flow with Oshun via Venus. So y'all put that on your calendar. And the last thing I'm going to tell y'all is I ask of you, I beg of you, if you find a nice little boo thing during this time, please wait until June 25th when Venus starts moving direct. Okay. And don't be surprised if some old flames come out of nowhere, like, hey, how you doing? You want to kick it? Don't be surprised. Just go with the flow. But know that it may not last. If it does, that's great. I'm not saying it won't. But if it does, that's great. Okay. So I love this Odu, O'Shea. Actually, this is one of the Odu that is speaking for the Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. If you were in the 2020 workshop, or if you're in the Inner Circle membership site, I shared with you this Odu. And so I share it with those of you who are watching, who maybe haven't been exposed to it, but maybe you need the reminder if you've seen this Odu. Celebrate beauty over negativity. This is from Odu O'Shea. The Odu are the wisdom energies, matrices of Ifa. You could say they're scripture also, but they're more than scripture because they are energy. They are the wisdom. They are the medicine. And this O'Shea, Odu, is the Odu that Oshun speaks through. So if you get a reading from someone who, uses Meridine Ogun or an Opan, excuse me, if you're getting a reading from a Babalawo, Ianifa, then you Ikin, that's what I was thinking of. Then you would perhaps get O'Shea. If you were to get this O'Shea, you would know Oshun is speaking through O'Shea. Okay, and what one of the things that Odu O'Shea says is celebrate beauty over negativity. This is something that you can use today. I encourage you to write this down. When crap is going down in your life, you feeling like I am so mad or I am so sad, I am not happy. Celebrate beauty over negativity. And there's multiple ways we can do this. We can do this by finding the good and praising it, shifting our perspective. But something else we can do is we can take the beautiful path. If somebody comes to us and they're stank and we're like, what did I do to you? I can take the beautiful path and just see them as a divine manifestation having a bad experience in this moment. And they decided to, come to me with it. I can just be like, I'm not tricked by you. I bless you. And I'm just going to keep moving. I'm unfazed. So it's different paths we can take with this. And this is something to chew on. This is the thing about spirituality. Sometimes it's about chewing on a thing. It's about pondering it. And what ends up happening is the medicine of the Odu, the medicine of the Orisha, it takes, it sets up shop within us, and then it just permeates us and we get all healed up. So this Odu O'Shea, it can heal you up. Celebrate beauty over negativity. Odu O'Shea. So I did want to let you all know this is an excerpt that I have done because I wanted to make sure I shared something to help with so many of the questions that people have been asking me about Oshun and how to work with this energy. I wanted to make sure I got something out to share with you all that I know will be very impactful and helpful to you, beneficial. But I do want you to know that there is a master class, and the full class is in my membership site. If you are part of the inner circle at the $25 level, you have access to it today. It is there right now. It is a part of your membership. There's also I'm calling it right now, a guide, but eventually it'll become a workbook. I'm going to continue to enhance it, but there's a guide and a workbook that comes with it. Let's say you're like, you know what? Can I just get the class? Yes, absolutely. You can. $22.22 is how much the class costs. And you can go find out more about both the membership site as well as just buying the course at my website, goddessbodymindspirit.com. So let me just tell you a little bit about the full class. In that class, I go over all the different expressions. So for instance, I made the price $22.22. 2 is a number that I relate to Oshun. But yeah, all the paths that relate to the maiden form of the goddess, which we're focused on the name Oshun. I go in depth in over all the key concepts as related to Oshun. I also give an extensive list of rituals and remedies that are used to enhance or heal your inner Oshun. And it comes with a course guide that you can print out for quick and easy reference to the wisdom of this goddess. I do want to, hold on, let me see if there's a question. I see something in the chat. Yes. Well, all 4 twos? Okay, Laura. Let me show you the book. So right now, I make everything pretty soon. I talked to a sister. She's going to be Can y'all see this um, Working with the Goddess series book? Did I pull it up correctly? Just somebody type in yes. Yes, the class is already up for purchase. Just go to my website and you'll see a button that says purchase the class, the Oshun class, on the front page of my website. I hope y'all, I think y'all can see it. Can you see it? Somebody just type in yes or no. Okay, good. Thank you, Vanita. So this is the guide. Let me change. Like 50. This is the guide that I created to go with the course, and it is available for download. Okay. And there's 3 videos, and I go over all of this in the 3 videos. And so let me show you. Oh. Well, I'll tell you what, I just go to my website, goddessbodymindspirit.com, and you can see everything there. I'm too scared I'm gonna mess something up if I start leaving this let me see here. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so like I said, the full class is at my membership site. You can buy it separately. The membership site is $25 a month. You get all of the courses. And when you go look at the membership site, you can see I've been creating courses for a year. And I already have one about Yemanjah, even though I'm going to create a new one. But I have one on Yemanjah there, one on Herakuti Ogun, astrology, a basic astrology course. It's actually several courses. And I hope the members who were with me in Patreon, but are now with me at the new site, like the new setup. So you can actually find crap. But anywho, also you get 5 readings per month. And the way those readings work is they're community readings. So I do a monthly reading and I do 4 weekly readings. And they're a community. I don't do individual readings within the membership site, but you get that for $25 a month. Plus, typically I post a course every month. So there have been times when I've done a teleconference. That's why I said typically. It's either a teleconference or a course. My focus right now is posting the classes. So yes, you can go to Goddess Body Mind Spirit and find out about both of those. I would love to have you in the membership site. If you buy just the course, I left the comment section open. So if you have any questions, you can put them there and I will definitely get a message when you post and I can answer it. That's for both the membership or if you just buy the class. And also the guide is going to be updated because I'm very much into journaling and mapping things out. So I will send out updates on when that happens. Oh, thank you, Q. I appreciate you. Welcome, welcome, Q. Let me know any questions that you have. Thank you, Azizi. Thank you. Q said she just purchased the course. And Azizi said membership is awesome. Azizi's been a member for several months now, and I adore it. Azizi is actually a part of my local spiritual community. So yeah, thank you, Azizi. So thank you all so much. I appreciate you so much for joining. There's also a contact page. If you have any questions about anything, I would love to hear from you, answer your questions, all that kind of good stuff. I hope that this has been helpful to you all. And Lord, oh, I am recording. I was just like, oh my God, did I record? So yes, I hope this has been helpful. And you can definitely look for the replay. If you signed up through, which I think all of you did, I have your email address and I'm going to send it out via email so that you have the replay and you can watch this again. Actually, this recording will go into the course also. So it'll be easy for you to find it if you're in the membership site or you buy the course. Thank you all so much. We give thanks to the energy of Oshun. May your lushness just continue to open within us and help us to understand our self-worth, our self-value, how beautiful, how wondrous, how glorious we are. This is what you want us to know, Oshun. We give thanks to you, Oshun, and we say, Ashe, 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 oh, may it be so. Thank you all so much. I'm glad that y'all enjoyed it. Thank y'all. Peace and love. Thank you for inviting your sister Laura. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Love y'all.